What's going on, everybody? Marco Liliano coming to you here for video number 7 of the Habit Experiment and of my JDOC series, actually. So super exciting, seven days of doing this, man. And I have no signs of stopping, and that's the awesome part. You know, I'm starting to pick up some momentum of really getting used to creating a video a day, and I'm actually excited to share with you guys of my wins, my accomplishments, my my setbacks, my challenges. It's all really exciting to me because, one, I keep myself accountable to not only me but to everybody that's watching this. All millions of people that are watching this in the future. Right now it's got a couple of views here and there, but it's not even doing it for the views. It's really, how can I bring as much value to anybody that's watching this, honestly, and what I could do to better not only my life but the lives of others. That's what I'm truly out here, to do, to show that the journey is actually what you should really be focusing on, and the results will come if you go into the journey and you develop yourself, you develop your habits, and you build off your successes and learn from your failures. That's really what's the exciting part of life. That's what the juice of life, where it comes from. So my win for the day, actually, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning again. I know, it's super exciting, although it was a little bit challenging this time. Alarm goes off at 4 o'clock. I have two alarms, 4 o'clock, 4:10, and 4:20. 4 o'clock goes, I hit snooze, and then the 4:10 o'clock, the 4:11 o'clock, rewind. My alarm went off at 4:11, and I thought for a split second, maybe I should sleep in, that little voice that's in your head of saying you should or you shouldn't, you can or you can't. That little voice, that was playing in my head too. But I did this one technique that I learned from Mel Robbins, and it's called the 5-second rule, where you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just kick yourself out of bed and just wake up and jolt yourself into action. And that's exactly what I did. I woke up and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go do some sprints. So I got my clothes on, put my shoes, I walked out the door. I did not want to do it, but I said, you know what? This is gonna make me into the person that deserves success by building successful habits. So I got up, I sprinted around the block for good. My intention was to do it for 5 minutes. I ended up doing it for 20 minutes. I know, weird. I did it more than I should. Tend to be, I was a little bit of an overachiever at that point, but nobody's watching me. That was just something that I felt like doing, and it felt pretty good, actually. Then I got back home. I started to do some push-ups, some sit-ups, a little bit of stretching. Got my reading in, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Makes sense why I'm reading that. I'm trying to be the most effective person that I could be. And started journaling my 3 problems that I see on a day-to-day basis in my journal. So overall, very productive day. And at work, it was a little bit of a tougher day since we're pouring cement. So it's very, very strenuous activity. But regardless, I still got my morning routine in. And after I got off of work, I got showered, changed, and I immediately grabbed my phone, my camera, and I said, I got to do my video so I can show up and present what my wins are for the day. So that's definitely something that's it feels good when you're on a roll, when things are gaining momentum. That's what it really feels like right now, is that I'm gaining momentum as I start to develop and build my habits. And the crazy thing is prior, I would not have seen myself as a person that wakes up in the morning and does these kind of things, but it all became present when I really started to evaluate not who I am now, but who I want to become. And the person I want to become is a type of person that is able to stick to his word. It's not that I intentionally break my word to myself or to my other people. It's mostly that I break my word to myself. I don't know how many of you have ever felt this, where you will go above and beyond to do something for somebody else and make that happen for them, and make sure they're happy and everything that they need is met. But when it comes to fulfilling your own responsibilities and your own needs that you need to take care of, you tend to not follow through with them. And I've had that struggle for such a long time. Is I would do things for other people and make sure everybody else was taken care of, but I was neglecting my own needs and my own responsibilities of what it means to be the best version of myself. And I had to realize, look, I gotta do things for me sometimes, not to be selfish or anything like that, but if you can't help yourself, then you can't help anybody else. And that's the honest matter of fact. Is there's an analogy that if a plane is going down, Mayday, and you have a child with you, and the mask's pulled down, you have to put the mask on yourself. They tell you this too. You have to put the mask on yourself first before you can put it on the baby, because if you die or if something happens to you, then inevitably something's going to happen to the baby because they can't take care of themselves. So, not saying that people out there can't take care of themselves, but in the world that we live in, everybody's kind of pointing externally of things that are happening. And while yes, there are things that are happening in the world that it's not necessarily people's fault or them to blame, but a lot of times people have to tend to look inside and how you can better yourself before you can help better others. And that's the journey that I'm on. Is in order for me to help thousands, if potentially millions of people, which is my what I really want to do in life, I have to know how to help myself. Because if you can't help yourself, then you can't help anybody else. A leader of one is a leader of many. And that has that's been a phrase that stuck with me a long time. Is if you can lead yourself, and if you can master yourself, you can lead anybody else. Because if you know who you are at the core of your existence, then you will know how other people function. And that's my journey, and what I'm setting out to do is really discovering how I function, how my strengths, my weaknesses, how they all work. Because if I can learn to fine-tune each of them, that's where true power comes. Because if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And that's just the beautiful part of self-discovery, self-mastery. Self-awareness is so huge, so critical. Is self-awareness. One thing that I've realized at 22 is being self-aware of who I am, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. That's so key. If I were to, and this is something that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about all the time, is if you could teach something to somebody that would be critical for their life and their success and anything they do, is to have self-awareness. Why are you feeling certain emotions? What caused it to, what caused you to do that? Is that is that true? Is that your mind perceiving something that's not really there? There's so many aspects to what happens in our life that is, a lot of it is, what we make up in our mind that's not really reality, because reality is only our perception, what we see out of these two things called our eyes. And self-awareness is that's the key, guys. Self-awareness is the key. Find out who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at. What you're good at, make sure you fine-tune that, sharpen that edge so you can be the best at what you do. And what you're not so good at, find out how you can be less not good at it. That makes sense. Try to improve it a little bit so that you can at least be competent about those areas that you're not so good at. For example, for me, being consistent wasn't something that I was very competent at or very good at, so to speak. But this is something that I needed to fix. I needed to fix being consistent, having a morning routine, because I knew this is something that I needed if I wanted to get to where I want to go. So that's super critical too. And it comes down to it, guys, self-awareness. I repeat it time and time again. At 22 years old, some people tell me I'm wise for my age and I know a lot. And it's nothing, I don't know a lot. That's one thing I know I'm super aware of, is I don't know anything. There's so much to learn. I could be wise for my years, whatever, things that I heard from other people, but it's something that I'm just aware about myself. Most people go their whole lives not really knowing who they are. And it's sad to see that people don't know who they are at their core, and they go at life pretty blind, you know. So bottom line, don't be blind, metaphorically obviously. Build that self-awareness, you know, the intellectual self-awareness, that emotional self-awareness, and even the spiritual self-awareness of, you know, that being present to the moment and giving it your all when it comes to going after what you want. You know, going after what you want, that's super critical for, I guess, living a fulfilled life. So I'm just rambling. This is all off of the dome. Not planning any of this. I'm just getting better at delivering a message that I feel that's coming from my heart, and nothing that's scripted or nothing that I wrote down. And so you guys can see the full, you know, so I'm fully vulnerable in front of everybody that's watching this, showing you that kind of going through the motions of this, not even just emotions, but really pushing myself to be uncomfortable and to get over the you know, the perfection trap of wanting to do everything right the first time. I know I'm gonna mess up. I know my video is a little bit shaky. I know the audio isn't the best. I know the editing isn't the best. I know all these things, you know, but I'm doing this intentionally. One, to get over the perfection trap, you know, of needing everything to be perfect the first time, which was the route that I was going down when I had first started making videos. But now it's just coming out, getting better, delivering content straight from the heart, straight from the mind, and just straight to you guys, so you guys can see it here first and foremost of my journey as I go for the life that I want. And every step of the way that I get there, my ups, my downs, my challenges, on the habit experiment of my JDOC series, number 7, guys. This is so cool. 7 videos down. Super excited for the next 7 that are, you know, coming here within the next week. So if you gain any value from this whatsoever, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to follow me, please excuse me. If you want to follow me, go ahead and subscribe to follow me on the journey to more success, as DJ Khaled would say. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I appreciate you all. Have a good day, night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next video.